Is Apple about to launch its own AI chatbot with Siri's help? Well, I guess Siri would be it. I haven't really had the most encouraging experiences with Siri up until this point. But if Apple was to do it, I guess they have an option. You double down on the Siri branding, or maybe you just cut ties and just something. Maybe it's an opportunity to create something completely new.
Yeah.
I guess I always had an issue with it having a name as opposed to, and we talked about this before, as opposed to just calling it assistant, being generic with it, like how Google does. But then I think a lot of people would look past that or not even really have an issue with it if it worked amazing. And it just seems for whatever reason at this point in time, it has its limitations for sure.
Yeah. It's just not as good as Assistant at this point.
Yeah, in my experience, now maybe other people have other experiences. Maybe people are setting all types of notifications, reminders and stuff. They're like, what are you talking about, man? Siri's doing what I need to do, which is fair and fine. But we all know that none of this really matters because even Google is getting all serious about Bard, and Microsoft is spending boatloads with OpenAI. So this is the next thing. It's not even about the voice assistant as we knew it, but it's conversational AI everywhere, doing everything. And we know that Apple has increasingly moved towards services in order to generate revenue, right? They went with their TV pluses and they went with their cloud-based storage. And this is kind of even more in that direction, which is like, how do we generate revenue outside of our core business, which are these devices, which kind of waver this way and that way? And also they showed a little sign of softness in this most recent quarter, and then they came with their results, and they're like, yeah, maybe people aren't, at first they blame supply chain issues, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. You have their competitors, you have Microsoft and Google, you have Apple getting involved in some of traditionally their businesses, like advertising, for example. Within the App Store and multimedia and streaming and things like this. So this just makes sense to me. They have to have some play in this category. And unlike in Assistant, where it sort of felt like they were behind, in this case, they're probably going to want to use that as a warning and hop on early and just say, listen, we're going to start investing, hiring right now in order to not lose any time, not fall far behind in the race towards whatever this AI thing is.
But just let people know that they're working on it.
And then the other aspect to it is when it comes to their ambitions regarding augmented reality or virtual reality. If they're going to play in that space, then I think we all imagine that AI is going to have some sort of influence there.
The Apple Car as well, AI.
The iPhone maker is set to triple its data center capacity this year as it looks to add more power to its facilities, according to a report by analysis firm Structure Research. In practical terms, the energy boost will ensure that the lights stay on and its servers have enough juice to keep running, but it could also indicate that Apple has something big and power-hungry up its sleeve. In total, Apple is expected to add more than 1.4, gigawatts of capacity to reach a 2 gigawatt or 233% increase that eclipses its big tech rivals. Is Apple planning a ChatGPT rival? The success of ChatGPT, which nabbed 100 million users in 2 months, has sparked a gold rush to create the next big chatbot. Despite some teething issues, both Google and Microsoft are plugging the tech into their search engines in the hopes of making them smarter. Apple reportedly boasts a search tool that already handles billions of daily queries, including from iPhone home screen or via the Mac Spotlight search feature. It is also used when you ask Siri for information, indicating that the digital helper could play a part if Apple ever decides to release a fully fledged search engine. Well, we're at this kind of crossroads right now where we're all wondering what the future search engines even look like.
Yeah.
What they are. Are they voice-based? Are they conversational? And to what extent will AI change these things? Because that's opportunity. The fact that we're at this new crossroads is opportunity for companies that didn't play a traditional role in search the way it was. And the companies that are sort of maybe even held back by their previous ways from an innovation standpoint. Microsoft just plugging in AI assistants on the sidebar inside of Bing. And then Google likely doing something similar, but at the top portion of the search results.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to look at it completely clean and fresh, If you were a player like Apple, you might be able to come along and say, no, it's search reimagined. It's not search at all. It's assistance. And it's your own personal assistant with an identity, which is on the level of, say, something like ChatGPT.
That's where I feel like Apple will dominate in the user experience side and kind of, like you said, reimagine how we interact with chatbots in general.
Well, they have the opportunity to do it.
Because right now it seems like Bard and ChatGPT is kind of like on top of their search engines. It's like an add-on. But to kind of see it full-fledged by Apple will be kind of interesting for sure.
They have unique integration opportunities for sure. Hardware, software. They can definitely do it differently. I think it's fair to be apprehensive though, given the fact that Siri just hasn't really cracked it as far as,
right.
Like anecdotally, most users that I talk to. And that was an ambitious project for them that was reaching into an area that was a little bit outside of their core expertise at that moment. Maps, on the other hand, I hear other things from people saying they feel like they've really caught up or they're pretty good. Yeah. So, and Maps wasn't part of their core competency at one point, and then obviously Apple Music and content creation, and so they have the reserves, they have the talent, and they have the ability to go out and get more talent. So they definitely can do it and may do it.